Once again, gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to my and stopping off at my channel. DJ here. I want to talk to you about another incident, and this will be the third posting to this day, Monday, the 24th of February 2025, and it's the third posting. I said to you in the beginning, I did the one, I says, maybe we get more because lots of things are happening in the world today. And then I did the second one and I was surprised it came so quickly. And here I am on my third post. But I just cannot leave these bits of news or interesting items in my folder. You know, I need to tell you about them because I'm very concerned about what's going on in Britain especially, but in the world as a whole. And what I want to talk to you this time is the political analyst Amjad Taha. And he's claimed on GB News, there are more extremists, this is his words, there are more extremists, Muslim Islam extremists in the UK than there is in the Middle East. Astonishing, yes, astonishing. He joined Camilla Tomino. She's a hostess of a programme on the People's Channel to discuss. He joined her to discuss the rising threat of extremism in Britain, which he feels has now reached alarming levels. Now, I've been on about this, and I've been on about the lack of freedom of speech, that's being curtailed, and he's joining them together. So let's hear what he's got to say. Taha, that's his surname, claimed Islamists control the whole narrative, which has led to the rise of anti-Semitism in Britain. He told GB News, I think you have more extremists in the UK than you have in the Middle East. Absolutely, he said. The things Islamists say in various mosques we have seen online, the terminology they use and statements they make would not even be allowed in Afghanistan. I think that's an over-exaggeration, but you're getting his point, I hope. The Muslim Brotherhood, who are the Islamists, the main ones are the ones ruling and controlling various press when it comes to the Muslim society. Now, Muslim Brotherhood, you know, it was big thing in Egypt. It's been banned in some Arab countries, but it's not banned in Britain. But let's see what he has to say. They control the whole narrative, and the Islamists use freedom of speech in a manner that will be anti-Semite in the name of freedom of speech. They're using the freedom of speech, curtailing it in one way, but also using it while it still exists to attack Israel and Jews. So Mr. Taha is claiming, I absolutely stand against that anti-Semitism, and it's not an opinion, it's a crime, and a crime against humanity. And on the 7th of October, when the genocide attack against Israel happened, what we witnessed was Islamists in places like Birmingham showing vices for Hamas. Hamas is the armed forces of the Muslim Brotherhood. The Muslim Brotherhood is banned in my country, told you, the UAE, which is the United Arab Emirates, I believe, but it's not banned in the UK. They use the freedom of speech to censor your right to speak against them. So they're using the freedom of speech to stop us speaking. Oh, dear me. And he's right, of course, he is right. This is what we're hearing. Let me see, has he said any more? And I believe he has, but I'm reading this from part of what I heard him say, and I've written it down, but I can't read my own writing at times. Hamas is the armed forces. Yes, we told you that, didn't we? For example, when they use the term Islamophobe, it's just to stop you from criticising Islamists or the Muslim Brotherhood. True? You know, the term Islamophobe or Islamophobic is shot out as soon as you want to say anything, you know. discussions. I've had discussions with Muslims who talk to me about Jesus and oh well, he wasn't a god, he was just a prophet under Mohammed. And I say to them, hang on, who's coming back? And they say, Jesus. So I said, so Jesus is coming back, Mohammed isn't? No. Then how is Mohammed above him? And how is Mohammed the last one if Jesus is coming back? And immediately, oh, you're Islamophobe, oh, you're, and it goes on. But it's good to have a heated discussion, shall I say. It makes them look silly. Let's see. It was revealed in January this year, 2025, that 8 organisations, Muslim organisations in the UK, United Kingdom, in Britain, have been deemed terror groups in the United Arab Emirates. So the UAE is calling them terrorists, but Britain, 8 of those organisations are in Britain, operating freely. And he says they were stopped and made deemed terror groups because of their alleged links with the Muslim Brotherhood. The country's approval of local terrorists sees individuals and organisations handed travel and financial sanctions for their alleged support of terrorism. That's AEI, not here. The Muslim Brotherhood is not banned in the UK or prescribed as a terrorist organisation. It's everywhere else. Taha suggested that GB News that the UAE's heavy-handed measures towards the organisation suggest the country as a whole is stricter on terrorism than the UK. Why are we being bombed? Why are we having all these stabbings? Why are we having vans and lorries driven into us? Bombing in Manchester, Lee Ribbins and his neck chopped off. There was so much going on in Britain, but the UAE, United Arab Emirates, they don't allow it. They stop it. It's not that we're Muslims, so we're not going to be hurt. No, they kick the terrorists out. We have got terrorists in Britain that come before the law courts and we want to throw them out. And the judges say, you can't, it's their human rights. We're soft. We're a soft touch. We are. We're a real soft touch. Tara suggested to Camelia Tumini, and she put it back to him. So she put it to Taha that moderate Muslims want to live harmoniously in Britain and do not want to be associated with terror groups. She added, this is fun, let me get it right. She added, they're the ones calling out the extremists in their midst. When the Muslims grooming gangs, was raping all those girls, thousands of girls, white girls, young girls, underage girls, and they still are, where was the calling out by the Muslim community? I didn't hear it. No one heard it because there was no calling out. So she's let's see. So what was his reply? Where do you stand on things? You would have heard about the Batley school teacher who used a depiction of Mohammed in a cartoon. He had to go into hiding. Another school child dropped a Quran and he was rounded upon by members of the Muslim community in the area and he was forced to repent. Taha replied, your diversity is accepted, but at the same time, we should not be hurting other people's religions. At the same time, what you have is a Muslim Islamist brotherhood, for example, the grooming and rape. Oh, he's onto his. So he says, at the same time, what you have is the Muslim Islamist brotherhood, for example, the grooming and raping of children, because of certain members of the Muslim society. Why didn't we protest as much as we did in Gaza and ask for justice? That's because the Muslim Brotherhood, who organised this protest, controls the community. When you have illegal immigrants coming all the way to Britain, he continues, the Muslim Brotherhood brings them lawyers, change their cases where it fits the Home Office criteria to guarantee citizenship or refugee status. Once these people become citizens, they then become loyal to the person who got them their citizenship. the Muslim Brotherhood. They then become loyal to the ideology of the Muslim Brotherhood. It all started by the radicalization at the first stage. Yes, and I've said this in one of my posts this morning, that they are radicalizing children in schools. And then they go into college and then to university and they're radicalised. They come out with an skewed idea of British culture and the history of Britain, because they are taught that white people have special privileges that they do not deserve, and brown, yellow, black, green and white and pink people should have the same status whether they merit it or not. And white people, they don't have status. What we have is what we've worked for, and black people in this country, they have what they've worked for. And I'll tell you something, my wife Yvonne, she's dead, she died in 1996, but she came over from Jamaica. She's black, my wife was black, from Jamaica, and she came over in 1965, beginning of 1965, at 15 years of age, and she made a great career for herself. She made me a wonderful wife, and we bore 2 children. I now have a grandchild, and we have a wonderful home. We had a wonderful home, I should say, and we both had careers, and she worked for it, and she got her posts on merit, not on colour, not on positive discrimination. She worked alongside white people, Chinese people, and she got the promotions because she studied and got the jobs she wanted. She came over, no education, very little education, from a broken family, worked hard, got interested in languages, and she learned Spanish and she learned Italian, and she went to Spain and she went to Italy, teaching students from other countries the language so they could get by. And she would do that for a month in Spain, and the following year she'd do a month in Italy. That's fun. I mean, she got paid for it, but it was for fun for her, because she had a job, her own business, running something that you don't know about now called a comptometer. And she would go around doing the bookkeeping and accounts for small companies because she worked hard at it. And that's why we should get promotions. And it's nothing to do with colour. It's got nothing to do with race. It's got nothing to do with religion. It's to do with application. And what this man's saying, Jamad Taha, is that the Muslim Brotherhood and the Islamists are extremists, and we've got more extremists in this country. It goes on, which I have not mentioned yet, but that Starmer's just had, and his cabinet ministers have just had a meeting with the Islamists in Downing Street, and there's trying to get a definition of Islamophobia, and so they're asking Islam, run by these guys, what they call Islamophobia. They will begin to run this country, and our freedom of speech will be prevented because they'll say, oh, that's Islamophobic, or that shouldn't be said, or this shouldn't be said. And it stops them being caught out when they're doing these dreadful things. And as we know, the Labour Party in these towns, they're all Labour Party councillors that allowed this grooming, this gang grooming and gang rape of girls, little white girls, picked up in taxis outside schools and children's homes. They allowed it, and now they're covering up by saying we will not have national inquiry. It's the Muslims are controlling. So let's I'll probably get into trouble for this, but this is what is happening, and it's fact. So comments, please. Make your comments. press the like button and press the subscribe button, because you know it doesn't cost you a penny, doesn't cost you a cent, doesn't even cost you a rupee. It's totally free. So press the like button, press the subscription button, because that's what allows me to continue with these broadcasts. So until the next one, and they're coming fast and furious. Who knows if there'll be another one tonight? It's already coming up to 7 o'clock here. So until the next one, I'm going to say bye for now.